Take a moment to peek into the lives of inspirational people living the true definition of happiness with author, presenter, personal stylist and coach Moana Robinson, who chats to people who have overcome challenges to live their best life. Moana is a passion and purpose coach and a personal stylist who empowers others to discover their best life and style, regardless of age. Here is Moana.
Thank you, Angela De Palma, for taking a moment with me. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, De Palma.
De Palma, lovely. I've been interviewing some people and I really want to create this podcast for women in particular to describe to others how women have overcome challenges in life and come out the other side. Would you like to introduce yourself and describe what you do at the moment?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Angela De Palma and I'm the founder of She Simply Impacts. And it's a transformational group coaching online and events for women. And Moana is one of our expert contributors running personal styling in our membership.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful initiative. And I really admire you for coming to that stage where you can have an idea and create something, and you've just done it. It's amazing. Have you always been a creator? Have you always been able to sort of have an idea and create something from it?
Actually, I have, but only since I left and split up from my ex-husband. So since 2008, I was no longer a we and I became a me, and I had to go on that journey of who am I and, what do I really want? I think that's when my creativity really unleashed and I realized how creative I was, and I sort of saw myself since 2008 creating a lot of different businesses and brands and trying lots of different ideas and very experimental. Yeah.
The 2008, how long did it take for you to sort of get that creativity? Did you go through a process to get to that stage?
I think it kind of almost was a natural thing that happened, because I think because my ex-husband and I used to run a business together, and it was based around his skills and his identity. And so when I went out on my own and, was rebuilding my identity, I just started, the big idea came to me. The first thing I did and created was this business called Go Cook Veg, where it was a vlog. So it was a video blog back in 2008, before veganism and all the paleo diets and all the different diets. So it was kind of like ahead of its time. And I did the NEIS program, which was the New Enterprise Incentive Scheme. And in many ways, that was the most aligned business to my true authenticity and values. And now She Simply Impacts is that again. And I learned something about myself when I don't really have a business that's aligned with who I truly am and my true authenticity, that my motivation for it runs out.
That's a really good realization. So you found that with the vlog that you were doing. Is that what you're saying, that sort of your motivation ran out?
Well, no, with the vlog, it was very aligned to my true authenticity at the time, and I was really passionate about it. But what I lacked there was confidence. I didn't have belief in myself.
And how do you think that came about?
Growing the belief in myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a big, long journey of self-discovery. I think that's really, I'm putting all the pieces of the self-discovery puzzle together. And I think that I didn't realize that I was a serial creator. So there were so many things about myself that I didn't really realize. I realized that I was passionate, that I was creative, that I could take an idea and make it real. I could generate interest. I could launch something. But then when it came to actually believing in myself and I guess really owning my vision, I didn't have the coaching. I didn't have the community around me. I didn't have enough of the supports that I've now learnt to put around myself. And my healing journey wasn't complete. Like there was still a lot more, not that it's ever complete, but there was still a lot more of that healing journey that I had to go on in order to really understand who I am and who I'm not.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. How many years when your marriage split up?
I was married for 15 years.
15 years, that's quite a long time. And any children?
Yes, one daughter. So she was 13, just turned 13 at the time that my ex-husband left me. And I didn't see it coming. And it was just shattering, you know, it was like really shattering.
I can imagine, like having the rug pulled out from under you.
Definitely. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw myself as this I saw myself as this, you know, loyal wife. I was unhappy, and I guess in retrospect, I can see that I was kind of in denial around. I didn't read the red flags. I think they were there, but I was really in denial. And so, yeah, but in retrospect, it was the best thing. Well, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Isn't it? It's always, well, not always the way, but quite often the way that people look back on something that's happened and find out that it was actually a blessing in disguise.
That's right. It was a real blessing. And but even at the time, I felt this relief. So even at the time, even though I was in so much emotional pain, and it really was the start of my true self-discovery, because I didn't really understand the impact of my childhood trauma that had on me. There were so many things about myself that I didn't really understand. I didn't know that relationship was codependent. I didn't know how to read. You know, it was just such a learning curve. And so now, you know, like years later, the red flags, you know, I'm just so much more empowered to actually see the red flags, read them, and act on them.
So do you find that you're more aware now of other people and just life in general? Did you have any coaching at the time, or were you a coach back then?
No, and see, I wasn't a coach back then, and I had really low self-esteem. So I was still very much, that's why I was very codependent and wrapped up behind the confidence of my ex-husband, because he was very high, his skills were quite incredible. He had a photographic memory, and he was really, really confident. And so I guess, put his skill set on a pedestal and thought, well, you know, I need to be a follower and not a leader. And so, but really that was just so not who I am, because I am not a follower. I'm actually a leader. And
you definitely are.
Yeah. And I was so unhappy.
Yes. So what was the catalyst, do you think, or the turning point or the light bulb moment when you decided that you wanted to use your creativity and create something with it, like the vlog to start with, and then later your coaching and She Simply Impacts?
Yes. I think that it just all poured out, because even with my ex-husband, I'd been running the business with him and doing, you know, I'd been learning a lot of skills, and I'd done a lot of personal development still, even though there was still major insights that were blind to me at that point. But I'd still sort of acquired, you know, foundational skills. And when he was no longer there, it just poured out. I can't explain it. It was almost like it just became apparent. I don't even really remember. I just remember that I latched onto this idea, because I always wanted to have a very successful business that didn't just depend upon me. And I had this vision for my life about traveling the world and being, you know, teaching and speaking and interviewing people and having some type of global community. And even then in that business, that was partially the vision for it, which is now also the vision for She Simply Impacts.
It's just amazing what you've created. It's very exciting. It's exciting for the people who are on the panel and also for members who join. So the contributors and the members, it's like a win-win kind of situation, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And I put that triple win into it. So I've built it so that the all the experts and the contributors, I want them to get, generate clients and build those relationships and help build their business. And then with all the experts and all the members, there's the affiliate link. So it has an affiliate passive income opportunity connected to it. And then it's that philanthropy, which is donating the money to the charities which support underprivileged women and children.
Fantastic. And is there any advice that you would give to a woman who is maybe going through that sort of situation where there's been a marriage breakdown and she's lost that sense of self-esteem?
Yeah, I think that I would definitely, what I found to be the most powerful thing is that having a community. So even in that relationship, I had the friends that belonged to us as a couple, and I didn't have a lot of friends that were just my own. And so then I had to rebuild everything. I had to rebuild friends. I had to, for a short time, separate from the friends that were part of both of our friends, because it just was painful to be around them. And then the healing, I did go to therapy. So I did start my healing journey, and I did go to therapy, and I did sort of build networks. So I started to build networks of entrepreneurs, and the therapy was really helpful. And then I've always been meditating. So I really maintain that close practice with the meditation, and that really helped me. And then I think what's really catapulted me in the last few years has been the one-on-one coaching, has been actually combining those things. So combining community with the healing and the coaching.
And you're a coach yourself now as well.
Right. Yes. And it's really funny, Moana, because when I was in that marriage, I always wanted to be a coach. We'd been to, lots of different personal development, like Landmark Education, and we'd been to Anthony Robbins, and we'd been to, seminars in America. And I just always, I was attracted by being a coach, but I never thought I was good enough again. And then eventually, after I let go of the cooking blog, and, I was also in the cooking blog afraid of what people thought of me, because that was very ahead of its time and people weren't into vegetarian food. And so I felt really out on a limb. And so I allowed wanting to fit in to dominate my true sort of authenticity. And I think that the journey has really been about those three things mainly, which is the community, the healing, and the coaching. And that's really ultimately unlocked all the pieces of the puzzle about who I am and who I'm not. And I'd been self-employed all my career, and in COVID I went and worked as a coach, and I wasn't a career coach. So I got a job at the Australian Institute of Professional Counsellors as their career coach, and I had to build a 9-webinar curriculum series and then roll out the group and the one-on-one coaching. And I sort of learned my skills on the job, and that's how I've really learned all my skills, has been through learning and doing it. And I got to see myself in a different context. I got to see my skills in a team, and it was really valuable to my growth, and it was really valuable. So I think that there's no right or wrong way. It's just what suits you. But I think that in the end, it's about trusting my instincts. Because I've always trusted my instincts, even when I don't know for sure. I just have been, I guess, confident to do that. And I feel that that's been a really positive combination, like the community, the healing, and the coaching all combined.
I think when you've been through something like that, it gives you that wisdom and that awareness to trust your gut, to trust your own instinct, doesn't it?
It does, definitely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've had to learn that. I've had to learn. I think when I was young, I was really good at it. And I think that just trusting my own confidence, because it's like all that fear and trepidation around, am I doing the right thing? And is this what I'm supposed to be? And not having, I guess, just not being in that partnership was just it was really hard. It was so hard.
And there are so many women out there in the same position. I really think this is going to help them. What I wanted to talk about too was your definition of happiness. You may have heard on the other podcast, I was talking about someone to love, something meaningful to do, and something to look forward to. Do you have any answers to those three things that you can share with us?
Definitely. I think that something to look forward to is really, really important. And that could even just be something as simple as I'm going out, I'm getting out of the city and I'm just going to go away for the weekend, or like this weekend I'm going with a friend. She's got a weekender at this property in the Mullaney hinterland and we're going there for a little working holiday. So it's just something to look forward to, so important. And then definitely. I think that someone to love, like that's really, like I feel so blessed that I've now repartnered and this is our 10th year that we're together, and it's been a really like amazing, positive, healing relationship, and really a relationship where I've never had to lose my me, and I've always been able to, it's not about a we, it's about me in a loving partnership. It's been really different to my previous relationship where it wasn't about me. It was about me always giving away my power to become this we. So it's been really different. So I'm very lucky I have that. And then what was the third one again?
Something meaningful to do, which is what you're doing.
Yes. And that's why what I'm doing is just so exciting to me, because it's really aligned with all my values, my values of, uniting 1 million women in the transformation of our potential into reality, the expansion of our positive impact, the equality of our voices, and in the quest to end the plight of underprivileged women and children. And I think that having all you incredible women, like we have 27 experts so far delivering sessions on our platform, and it's just so fulfilling when I meet the members in the community and I see the transformation that they're getting by attending our live group coaching and events. It's just amazing. And I think I feel so blessed that I've had the courage and to step out there with a vision that, I was very nervous about initially, and, still had to overcome what would other people think of me, or what do they think of me? But I don't regret it.
Yeah. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. So it's like a living example of that. And that's what I'm supporting all the members and the experts to keep doing, is expanding and going after our true dreams and our true ideal life.
Well, you're very, very inspiring. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you for taking a moment with me. And I know that this is going to help a lot of women out there.
Thanks, Moana. It's such a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Take a Moment with Moana Robinson. Remember to visit her website, bestyledforlife.com.au, and book a time for a further conversation.